Welcome to this lecture on cell biology. Today, we are going to explore a fascinating topic called gap junctions. Imagine if billions of individual cells in your body could suddenly talk to each other, share resources, and act as one single living organism. How do they do it? They use microscopic tunnels to communicate instantly. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what these tunnels are, how they are built, and the mathematics behind how they keep you alive. To start our journey, let us imagine you and your best friend are staying in two separate hotel rooms, right next to each other. If you want to share a snack, you normally have to walk out your door, go into the hallway, and knock on their door. But what if there was a secret, built-in door connecting your two rooms directly? You could pass snacks and notes back and forth instantly. In the microscopic world of our bodies, cells have exactly this kind of secret door, and we call them gap junctions. This is why cells can work together as a perfectly synchronized team. Now that we understand the basic idea through our hotel analogy, let us look at the formal biological definition. A gap junction is a highly specialized intercellular connection found in many types of animal cells. Instead of forcing molecules to exit one cell and navigate the empty space outside, a gap junction directly connects the cytoplasm of two adjacent cells. Think of it as a regulated gate. It allows various small molecules, essential ions, and even electrical impulses to pass directly from one cell interior to another, completely bypassing the outside environment. Building on that definition, let us examine how these microscopic tunnels are actually constructed. Structurally, each gap junction is made of two matching halves, which we call connexons or hemichannels. It is a beautiful collaborative effort. One cell builds one half, and the neighboring cell builds the other. These two halves reach out and dock together across the tiny extracellular space to form a continuous sealed tube. If we zoom in even closer, each connexon is built from 6 individual protein subunits called connexins, arranged in a perfect circle. The center of this circle creates a hydrophilic, or water-loving, pore. Let us visualize the structure we just discussed with this detailed diagram. Here, you are looking at two adjacent cell membranes, labeled membrane 1 and membrane 2, separated by a narrow extracellular space. Notice the cylindrical structures spanning across this gap. These are the gap junctions. You can clearly see how the top half, the connexon from cell 1, perfectly aligns and docks with the bottom half from cell 2. Look closely at the cylinders themselves. They are made of 6 individual pillar-like proteins, the connexins. The arrow passing straight through the middle represents the hydrophilic pore where molecules travel. Having seen what gap junctions look like, we must ask, why do these microscopic tunnels matter so much in real life? The most dramatic example is your own beating heart. Without gap junctions, your heart would literally not be able to beat properly. In the heart muscle, electrical signals must spread from one cell to the next almost instantaneously. Gap junctions allow the ions carrying this electrical signal to flood through the tissue without any delay. This rapid, synchronized communication ensures that the entire heart chamber contracts at the exact same fraction of a second, pumping blood effectively. Beyond the heart, these connections are just as vital in other parts of the body, especially in tissues that do not have their own blood supply. Take the clear lens of your eye, for example. Because blood vessels would block your vision, the cells buried deep in the center of the lens cannot get nutrients directly from the blood. Instead, cells near the edge absorb nutrients and pass them bucket brigade style through gap junctions to the center. If these junctions fail or mutate, the cells starve, which can lead to severe diseases like cataracts, certain types of deafness, and life-threatening heart arrhythmias. Now that we appreciate their biological importance, let us shift our focus to how we measure their effectiveness. To truly understand how well gap junctions work, we must look at the physical space they provide for molecules to travel. The rate at which molecules can pass between cells depends heavily on the size of the opening. In biology, we can model the open pore of a gap junction as a simple geometric cylinder. The cross-sectional area of this pore determines its capacity, much like how a wider plumbing pipe allows more water to flow. Even a tiny widening of this pore increases the flow dramatically. This geometric model leads us directly to the mathematics of permeability. Since we are treating the pore as a cylinder, its opening is a circle. Therefore, we calculate its cross-sectional area using the standard geometric formula, A equals pi times r squared. Let us break down these symbols. The capital A represents the cross-sectional area of the gap junction pore, usually measured in square nanometers. The Greek letter pi is our mathematical constant, roughly 3.14159. Finally, the lowercase r represents the radius of the pore, which is the distance from the exact center to the inner protein wall. Because the radius is squared, if the cell relaxes the proteins to slightly increase the radius, the total area, and thus the flow of molecules, will increase massively. Let us put this formula to work with a practical example. Suppose a researcher measures the diameter of a fully open gap junction pore to be 1.5 nanometers. We want to find its cross-sectional area. First, we must find the radius by dividing the given diameter by 2. 1.5 divided by 2 gives us a working radius of 0.75 nanometers. Next, we substitute this radius directly into our area equation. We square the 0.75, which gives us 0.5625. Finally, multiplying this by pi yields our result. The final cross-sectional area is approximately 1.77 square nanometers. Physically, this means any molecule larger than 1.77 square nanometers will simply bounce off the closed pore, explaining why small ions pass through, but massive folded proteins are blocked. Having calculated the area of a single pore, we must now look at the bigger picture. In reality, gap junctions rarely exist alone as isolated channels on the cell membrane. Instead, they cluster together in massive, tightly packed groups called plaques. Imagine a heart muscle cell. It does not just have one secret door. It has a plaque containing thousands of active gap junction channels side by side. While one single pore is incredibly tiny, grouping thousands of them together creates a massive superhighway for ions, allowing a massive flood of electrical signals to cross in mere milliseconds. To understand the true power of these plaques, we need a new formula to calculate their combined capacity. The math here is straightforward. The total permeable area, represented by A sub T, is equal to N multiplied by A sub S. In this equation, A sub T is the combined cross-sectional area available for transport across the entire plaque. The capital N represents the total number of open gap junction channels in that specific cluster. And A sub S is the area of one individual pore, which we just learned how to calculate. If the number of channels N increases, the total communication capacity between the two cells scales up linearly. Let us see this combined power in action with our second example. Imagine a heart muscle cell has a small plaque containing exactly 1,000 active gap junction channels. We want to find the total permeable area. We know our N is 1,000, and from our previous calculation, we know the area of a single pore is 1.77 square nanometers. We simply plug these numbers into our formula, multiplying 1,000 by 1.77. The calculation shows that the total permeable area is 1,770 square nanometers. This beautifully illustrates how cells use teamwork and sheer numbers to overcome the tiny, microscopic size of individual proteins, ensuring your heart beats perfectly. We have covered a lot of ground today, so let us summarize the key takeaways. First, gap junctions are vital communication tunnels that directly link the cytoplasm of adjacent cells, allowing them to act as a unified organism. Second, we learned they are built from connexin proteins that form docked hemichannels. Third, we saw how essential they are for rapid electrical signaling in the heart and nutrient sharing in the eye. Finally, we explored the mathematics of their permeability, seeing how the area of a single pore scales up when cells cluster them into massive plaques. You now have a solid understanding of how cells collaborate to keep us alive. Great job!